Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and this is another episode of our weekly Q&A. As always, we start off with a quick update about what's been going on in the NetherRealm games.
So WWE Immortals, no new content, all of it is a rehash. So the challenges evolved page, and the online for another day is evolved Roman Reigns, and I'm feeling a little sad. I actually enjoyed WWE Immortals when they had so much new content, and it's been stagnating for a while, so fingers crossed that maybe they'll update. On Mortal Kombat X, the challenge is Classic Kano, and the Early Access Pack is also Classic Kano. Nothing special online except the usual Blood Rubies and stuff. And I guess, you know what, we've sort of had a couple false starts where we said we were going to stop doing updates, and I feel like maybe this is a natural point to do it simply because honestly, I haven't been playing either Immortals or Mortal Kombat much at all.
Yeah, so if we have to take a break from doing weekly updates in our Q&A anyways, right? When we come back to it, maybe we'll just talk about what's new in Injustice. So, this is going to be our last Q&A until we have...
Injustice's update.
Oh.
Okay, so the gear set you can see is the 4th World gear set, and that's until next week, Wednesday. The current challenge for another couple days is still Emi Kami Catwoman. Your guess is as good as ours about what the next one is. Hopefully it'll be Teen Titans Raven, but it could be the repeat of Kandak Black Adam or Antimatter Sinestro, or even the first appearance of Earth 2 Solomon Grundy. And the current online challenge, I believe it just passed, was, or no, that we drew, the thing just showed up on screen, was the Gauntlets of Azrael. And it is. Alright, so it's the gauntlets that will evolve into Azrael when we first fuse it. So, fuse it. I should enunciate more clearly instead of slurring my words. Alright, so sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, before we realized we forgot, I was going to say, the last Q&A, until we have, this is going to be the last Q&A until we have internet access again on the 8th. So, that's just a little over 2 weeks. And just to remind you guys to be good to each other, try to help out where you can, try to respond to comments if you know the answer. And you guys might think that because we're leaving for 2 weeks, that we'd have less content or something like that. But we actually have 5 videos that are going to be up in those 2 and a bit weeks. So if anything, that's as much or more content, and we tried to make all of it interesting. We're going to try a lot of new stuff, not... only one of the videos out of all of them is actually going to be our kind of normal format style videos, or a video that you've seen before, the format of. Everything else is going to be something different, and we really hope you guys like it.
There will be one particular that's interactive, and we're hoping that people will participate, but no more spoilers. Hopefully you'll like what you see, and that when we come back, we won't come back to Dead Channel with nobody watching.
Yeah, so make sure to stay tuned. We're really excited. We don't know how well it'll go over with you guys, and you guys always, at the end of the day, do get a say in some of the content that we make, but we really hope that you'll like the stuff that we're doing. So definitely check back. The channel will be just as active in our upload schedule as ever, even though we won't be able to comment. So moving on to the first question of the day, we've got Rishab Kumar, and they say, "Hi BDCKR, I'm from India and I'm a fan. I really love your content regarding Injustice, and I'm curious as to how I can make my Red Sun online defense team better with Red Sun Green Lantern." And so we commented back and forth a bit. What he's looking for is a better win percentage. His current team is Static with all 4th Row gear, Hot Girl Prime with the League of Assassins mask, LexCorp headgear, LexCorp chestplate, and Luchador Bane with the League of Assassin knives, Cloak of Destiny, and LexCorp armband. And he was commenting because he ran into a Red Sun team with Superman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern that was pretty effective.
So the first thing you can do to make your Red Sun online defense team better is to watch all our videos, especially our unboxing ones, because I know you're watching our Injustice ones already. Anyways, no, sorry, but seriously, the first thing is that I know you're not, but if you were looking to get more battles, there's not a lot of options. In order to draw a lot of battles, you need a really high stat team, and that's not a Red Sun team because they're not at the top tier of stats. So you can improve the draw of your team by maxing out their health and damage augmentations. And like I said, I know that's not what you're asking, but it's probably relevant to some people who are listening to this question. So our main strategy when we're building a defensive team is to maximize the things that are the most annoying when we face that particular team. So when when I see it and I dread facing it, then I know they're doing something right.
Yeah.
Alright, so the first thing you mentioned was Red Sun Green Lantern. It's good to focus on him because it takes away the crit damage, and that's a big part of people's play because crit damage is actually the most useful part of the augmentations. So it's good to have a full Red Sun team, right? Because then everybody's protected from crit damage and a 20% reduction in special damage. Another guy that we like to use on Red Sun team, or that we hate facing, Red Sun Batman. Because the chance of his special one unblockable means that it's not a great strategy to either drain it it's not a great strategy to block it, right?
Yeah.
So you know when it's coming, and if it's Red Sun Batman doing it, then there's a chance that you're going to get stunned and you're going to be vulnerable to somebody with the Cloak of Destiny. Now, as far as that goes, if you're starting off with Red Sun Green Lantern, and you're going to use Red Sun Batman, it's good to have Wonder Woman, because she's going to increase power gen, so there's going to be more specials, right? More things that are going to annoy you, annoy your opponent. And so if you're going to go with that team of Green Lantern, Batman, and Wonder Woman, have one person with at least 2 pieces of Lex Core, so they can prevent power drain. Like, that's not annoying. And actually power generation if somebody tries to drain you. And have at least one guy with 2 League of Assassins gear to limit their tagging in and tagging out. Because what you're doing is, for us, we actually like to have a relatively balanced team with guys playing different roles, but the League of Assassins gear, like we've mentioned before, sort of screws with that kind of strategy. Because you can't tag in and tag it when you want, you're actually forced to stick with somebody maybe a little bit longer than you want. Oh, and one other thing, give one of them the full 4th World gear set. We found that playing against a team with the 4th World gears, if we can't wipe him out quickly and he's the last one, he can be really hard to fight even if we have all 3 guys left. The more frequently he can use Special 1, really the harder he is to beat because he keeps on regenerating, right? So since Red Sun Green Lantern has relatively high health in that group that we mentioned, he's the good candidate for it. So, and consider putting, like I mentioned earlier about the stun chance, consider putting the Cloak of Destiny on Red Sun Batman, since you expect him to get a lot of stuns unblocked.
So both.
If we're going to go away from Red Sun teams too, because it's not always that. Like, you don't have to have everybody Red Sun. It's a good consideration to get the benefit of the passive. But, sorry.
Both Luchador, Bane, and Batgirl are good on defense because you can if you can surprise somebody sometime. Because.
You should stop drinking so early in the day. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah. So Luchador, Bane, and Batgirl are good on defense because you can surprise someone, but they don't get the full benefit of the Red Sun passives if you're swapping out just one member of your team. And if you don't give Bane Razgul Scimitar, then he may drop in before having a bar of power. So what used to be the best way to evaluate the success of your defense team was not just your win-loss record, but also watching replays. Hopefully they fix it at some point so we can get that information back, because you can see like exactly who people have the most trouble with, all that kind of stuff, and that's actually useful data.
And you can see how close the fight actually is, right? And that makes a difference.
Yeah, okay, so we've already responded to the next comment, but we feel it bears repeating. And just before that, another thing, we're forgetting things left and right. Prepping for our vacation, we'll chalk it up to that. But what we've been playing recently, what we've been playing this week, we've been playing Call of Juarez Gunslinger. So we won't talk...
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah, it's a really fun game, really interesting art style. It's a Wild West first-person shooter. This is why we write things down in a script, because if we don't, we forget them. So, there was a comment a very long time ago about that, but that is the reason. So, our next comment comes from Bryan Romero, and they just commented, video starts at 2 minutes and 56 seconds. And this was on the promotion glitch that we refilmed when it was working for about 24 hours when the Omikami Catwoman early access pack was removed.
Yeah, so, listen, we already replied to it in the comments itself, but I thought it was worth mentioning because, yeah, the video starts at 2:56 when we're doing stuff, but what you're doing is you're skipping a huge number of warnings and a bunch of the explanations. So, yeah, congratulations, Bryan Romero. That was a bit of a dick move there. So, it's completely attitudes like that, which is the reason why every time there's a new glitch, there's a bunch of people, they are in a panic, they're asking for help because they screwed up their account, or they're just having trouble doing it. Totally preventable and avoidable, and you're contributing to that. So thanks a lot for nothing.
Okay, and our last question comes from Rakolakis Master, and they say, "Hey, can you make a hacked account for me, please?" And this isn't just this guy. We get a lot of comments along this line.
Yeah, and we replied to this in the comments too, but I think it bears repeating to maybe a larger audience, because I don't know how many people actually read all the other comments, right? I mean, everybody has a question, but a lot of times I think they ignore what other people have said before.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but some. I'm sure some people do. A significant number do. So the first part is, we don't do that sort of thing. Like, we do glitches, we don't do hacks. To us, there's a difference. I mean, I'm not going to look down my nose at people who do hacks. I can understand the reasons why they do it, just not for us.
I do look down my nose at people who hack that, like, naturally out of the actual bounds of what you're supposed to be able to get, like 800 gear or something. Stuff like that is just
actually,
totally not
true.
fair. Like, 4th row gear set on everybody, that is a little unfair.
That's true. That's a good point. But I guess to actually answer, I mean, the underlying question is, he's looking for a hacked account, and he's looking for somebody to give it to him. And so we actually know someone who does hacks. I mean, he's the guy who set us up with the upcoming characters and gears, so we could do preview videos. And he typically charges for making adjustments to accounts. Like, people ask and get done all the time. Last lap tickets, legendary gears, past challenge characters, credits, whatever, right? But typically, I mean, when we're talking to him, he doesn't do brand new accounts from scratch. And it's not that he can't, it's that I think it's reasonable, right? You do the work, you charge for your time. The amount of time he says that it would take to set up a new clean account that works is just more than people are willing to pay him. And here's the funny thing, right? Like, not all hackers are the same. I mean, you've seen those videos where people teach others how to hack, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who, even in our comments, who sometimes don't get past the spam filter, who are like, giving away an account, selling an account, sub to my channel, blah blah blah, add me on Kick. We get a lot of those commenters too, who don't seem to be wanting much out of the bargain.
Yeah. But the sad thing is that a lot of it, besides the consideration of whether you think hacking is right or not, right? A lot of hackers don't actually, or people who say they're hackers, don't understand what they're doing, and it results in a lot of suspended accounts. I mean, what we've seen a lot now is that people are saying, I got my account got suspended, I don't know what I did, and I've tried cloning and stuff, and it still keeps on getting suspended, right? A clean, completely loaded account that will not get you suspended is just worth too much for most people to want to spend. It just is. Like, it's just, I don't know what to say. It's not our thing, and it's...
I think the best way to get unbanned is to not get banned in the first place, because you're gonna have to modulate your behavior after you get banned to not do things that might have gotten you banned before anyways.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have to modulate your behavior, you might as well change it before you actually suffer all the consequences of it.
Here's the other thing too, right? One of the things that people have been doing is copying accounts, and what we realize now, what we know now, is that when an account's been banned, that account is now marked. And when you clone an account, it brings the suspension with it. So whatever you do to start with that gets your account banned, even if you fix it after, if you try to clone that account, your account's still suspended, even the new one. So yeah, good advice, just don't do it. That's the opposite of Nike. Just don't do it.
Okay, well, that was the last question. We'll play out this one last fight because we're already loading it up. But thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. We'll wait until the video's actually over.
Because we're still superheroes.
Yeah.
And you'll understand what we mean by that if you've watched our Komodo revealed video.
Michael Moran. Okay, there we go. Komodo.